Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am so excited that you decided to join me here today for another Create a Sim video. I have been doing, I guess we can even call it a series at this point. I don't know. I'm just having a blast. But I have been recreating iconic families from The Sims 2 in The Sims 4. I don't know what necessarily got me on this kick, but I'm just having a really good time, and I hope you all have been enjoying revisiting The Sims 2 lore and translating it over to The Sims 4, because this has probably been one of my favorite things that I've done on the channel to date. I'm genuinely so excited. So today we are going to be looking at the Smith family, but just so you know, I have done the Pleasant family, I've done the Spectre family, and who else did I do? I did the Broke family and I did the Grunt family. And I think the last video I did was I think it was the Grunt family, which led us directly to the Smith family. So you may all be very familiar with the very first member of this family that we are going to be looking at, the infamous Pollination Technician number 9. Now, for the purposes of The Sims 4, I could not fit his full name, so I called him Polytech9 Smith. You can make an adjustment if you would like, but in The Sims 4, we do, of course, have the alien occult. And just so you know, they do have a disguise, a human disguise. I went through and I shaped that as well. Most of the outfits are pretty much the same. But just know that's an option. If you want to play with them in The Sims 4, you do have that human disguise. I don't believe we had that in The Sims 2, but I like him in his true alien form. It's my absolute favorite. So a little bit about Pollination Technician number 9 as I zoom in really, really fast here. So he has gray hair because he is an elder. We had all of Spectre as an elder, but I don't recall too many elders in The Sims 2, so it's kind of nice. But he has gray hair, and he has black eyes and green skin, of course, because he is an alien. I gave him little pointy ears and stuff, too, and he's got like the really long chin and a little teeny tiny alien nose. I thought he came out really nicely. I tried to make his eyes bigger, but that's as big as they can go with the sliders we have in game. Anyway. He is a Pisces, a fellow Pisces, like myself, and he has the family aspiration. Now, at this point, he is unemployed in The Sims 2, but the thought is that he is retired from being a pollination technician. That was his job for a very long time, for a majority of his life. Now he's an elder, he's retired, and unemployed at this point. Now, he's mostly neat and playful when we start looking at his personality. He's fairly lazy, but you know what? I translate that to wanting to just relax because he's an elder at this point. He's also kind of shy, but he's neither grouchy nor nice. He's somewhere in the middle. Now, he's very interested in health, entertainment, culture, travel, and animals, but he hates the paranormal, fashion, and sci-fi, which I want to make a note. Every member of this family doesn't like sci-fi. I think it's rooted, this is my theory, I think it's rooted in maybe the unrealistic depiction of alien kind in a lot of like sci-fi movies or shows or literature. I like that backstory. I think that Pollination Technician number 9 takes offense to that, and I think his family shares that sentiment as well, especially his kids. They're alien human hybrids, and obviously his wife Jenny is very empathetic and loves alien kind and loves the color green, which is like a fact of Jenny Smith. Anyway, that's my thought. I thought that was so interesting. Now here's where things are going to get a little interesting as well. I didn't fully grasp this when I was younger, but now reading it and really figuring it out, it's kind of a lot. So I haven't made them in The Sims 4 yet, but I probably have to. Now, Pollination Technician number 9 actually had fathered twins, Lola and Chloe singles, with Glarn Curious, okay? This is before he met Jenny, because Glarn Curious is actually Jenny's father. So he had children, not in the sense we're thinking. He's a pollination technician. So he abducted Glarn Curious and impregnated him, had twins, and then later on, when Jenny was born and obviously is an adult, he ended up marrying Jenny. So it's a little weird. Now, to put that in perspective too with how all of this intertwines, and we'll look at it a bit more with Jenny, but she is actually not only half siblings with Chloe and Lola singles, but she is a full sibling, if you will, with the Curious brothers, Laszlo, Pascal, and Vidkun. So like they're all related. It's a pretty big family. It's a lot of kids because we had the abduction twins and then we had 4 human biological children in the Curious family as well. It's a pretty big family. And it's a little messy considering that Pollination Technician technically fathered Jenny's half-sisters. It was before they were together, right? It's no biggie. Moving on. When we're looking at his relationships, though, he is only acquaintances with Lola and Chloe. So it seems that in his Pollination Technician days, he wasn't a present father. He was just doing his job here, right? He was just pollinating. So he doesn't really have a relationship with his twin girls, who are adults in The Sims 2, as a reminder at this point. They're probably around Jenny's age, actually. Jenny's an adult. Maybe they're young adults. I don't remember the life stages. I'll have to look into it when I remake them. But but he's also only acquaintances with his other kids, Jill and Johnny, that he shares with Jenny, which he's a family-oriented sim. His aspiration is the family aspiration. So I figured he would have more of a relationship with the kids that he shared with Jenny, but he doesn't. So that's kind of odd. Now, he's also acquaintances with General Buzz Grunt. We looked at the Grunt family last time. He's had an ongoing feud with the Grunt family and General Buzz specifically, though that doesn't seem to really be reflected in their relationship. I don't know if, since they're only acquaintances, I don't know if it leans more towards the negative side or the positive side, but he has a memory right after Jill was born of actually winning a fight against General Buzz. Now, when we look at this man, he's an elder, and he's not a very muscular elder, and General Buzz is like fit to a T. How he won this fight against General Buzz, maybe like mere years ago, considering Jill's a child, is actually beyond me, but all the power to you, Polytech 9. I love you. Now, the Smith family was recreated in The Sims 4 for the 19th anniversary of The Sims. And in The Sims 4 version, he has the big happy family aspiration. He's a goofball, family-oriented, neat, and domestic as a trait that is attached to his aspiration. And in The Sims 4, as I mentioned, alien occults have human disguises. So I did, as a reminder, create that as well. He looks very different, but it's supposed to be a disguise, right? It's supposed to be a disguise, but I did give him green eyes just to kind of pay homage to the fact that he is indeed an alien, and most of his outfits do include the color green. As a reminder, that's Jenny's favorite color, so you know what? And he's a green man. It just makes sense. Now, for my recreation, I did give him the successful lineage aspiration. I just thought it was a little bit I thought it was a little bit more oriented to him as a sim, and I'm going to try to articulate it. We do have the big happy family aspiration, of course. That's what he was given. But I think that since he's retired and he decided to not continue his lineage as being pollination technicians and having like full alien children, my thought is that maybe he has kind of a worry for his kids because they're alien human hybrids and he knows that they face a lot of, I don't know, I don't want to say this, but I mean, a lot of like vitriol, right? Like they do. General Buzz Grunt specifically hates aliens. It's not okay. It's not cool. So I think he wants to ensure that his kids are successful. They succeed in life, that they're happy, and like that's his focus. So that's what I gave him. Now, I made him active. Why did I do that? I don't know. Because as I said, he has the goofball, family-oriented, neat, and domestic traits. So I made him a goofball, a bookworm, and active, but I'm thinking back on it and I don't know why the heck I did this. He's fairly lazy. So you know what? I'm actually going to make him lazy. Again, I equate it to being retired, but I think at this point he should take it easy. He's been working. Oh, he can't be that when he's active. Here, we'll fix that. All right, we're going to make him lazy. Yes, I have some poses in my game. So we'll have him be a goofball, lazy. And I think because he's mostly playful, maybe I will just make him family-oriented. It makes sense. So I'll make him family-oriented. I do wish his relationships with his kids were higher because I think it would make more sense. But anyway, that is Pollination Technician number 9 in a nutshell. And as a reminder, I have assigned all of the outfit categories, and they are primarily base game. The only thing is that when I do create families with married couples, I give them wedding bands, and they're often from my wedding stories. But just like all the other families, there's going to be a text file included in the download with it's a text file with a list of packs that are used, so you can kind of make a decision as to whether or not you'll be able to download them and if all the things will be there, which is why I keep a lot of these outfits base game. Aside from the everyday outfit, so for example, I don't restrict myself with the everyday outfits because I'm trying to achieve a very particular look, which is the recreation of what they looked like in The Sims 2. So we've got like island living, for example, and we have, let's see, we have cats and dogs, and then I think we have some base game socks, I want to say. And I think these shoes are also from my wedding stories. Oh, actually, they're not. They're from some kit that I don't know. What is this kit? I'm just curious now. This kit, modern menswear. No, did I really do that? Wow. Okay. Right. And his hair is not CC. It is just base game. But as per usual, I'll also mention this. All of my default skin details, which I go over in great detail in 2 videos on how I create my Sims, they are all added to this family as well. It includes the pufferfish skin blend, the lip kit, mouth corners by Miko. We also have spotlight number 2 by Samandy. And I think that's pretty much it for all of them across the board. Okay, next up we have Jenny Smith, who is Pollination Technician number 9's wife. I always liked Jenny. I didn't play with the Smith family that much. And if I did, I primarily played with like Johnny and Jill because I liked playing with the teens and the kids. But Jenny Smith has blonde hair and green eyes, as you can see here. And she also is a Taurus. And she shares the family aspiration with Pollination Technician number 9. So both her and her husband are pretty much on the same page in that regard. Now, she does work as a nurse in The Sims 2, and she's neither neat nor sloppy. The same kind of goes for shy and outgoing. She's somewhere in the middle. She is pretty serious, but she is very, very nice. Probably one of the highest points in nice that I've seen in a lot of the families in The Sims 2 that I can recall. I could be wrong, but it's one of the higher ones that I've seen. Now, she loves entertainment, health, culture, fashion, and food, but she hates the paranormal, and she hates travel and sci-fi, like I mentioned. I think it's because she doesn't like the prejudice against alien kind, because she's obviously very empathetic. She has an alien husband, half alien children, and she has half alien siblings as well. So, you know, it hits home for her, really does. As I mentioned, her half-sisters are Lola and Chloe, but she's also their stepmother now, which is really, really odd. And her brothers, again, are Pascal, Vidcon, and Laszlo. And, of course, the 2 children she has with her husband are Johnny and Jill Smith. Now, what I think is interesting is she's acquaintances with her brothers and her children, which I think is odd considering, again, she's a very family-oriented Sim. And she has no relationship with her half-sisters, Chloe and Lola. At all. They're not even in her relationship panel. I don't know why that is. Maybe if I dug into the history a bit more, I could figure it out. Like maybe her dad, Glarn Curious, didn't raise the 2 girls. I don't know. I didn't dive that deep into the history, but I'm trying to come up with a reason as to why she has 0 relationship with them. Like she doesn't even know them. I just think it's interesting. Maybe we can come up with our own lore for The Sims 4. I don't know. But she, in The Sims 4, has the big happy family aspiration as well, just like her husband. She's a geek, she's family-oriented, outgoing, and domestic, and she is employed in the doctor career. Again, this was a recreation for the 19th anniversary of The Sims, so they are available on the gallery from Maxis if you want to download that version as well. Now, she does have one bit of custom content that I will go ahead and highlight here. She does have a custom content hair. It is the Anne hairstyle in Style 1 by Sim Celebrity 00. Now, I think this would be a fairly easy swap with something that we have in game. I just wanted to use this one because I love it, and it was new to me at the time of me creating this family. So I wanted to use that. And I think everything else for the most part is base game for her primary outfit, aside from these sandals she's wearing from For Rent. But again, I will reiterate all other outfit categories are primarily base game. I did my best to do that just to make it a little bit more accessible. And since her favorite color is green, I used a lot of green. Yes, I did. Now, I didn't give her the big happy family aspiration. I wanted this for Jill. I think Jill wants to be a super parent. So I want to see her get a bit closer to her children. I want the same for Pollination Technician number 9, but I wanted maybe their aspirations to be a little bit different considering their history and backstory and kind of how they view their children and their futures. So I want her to be a super parent. And I made her self-assured, good, and family-oriented. Again, I don't know about a geek. I guess she could be a geek because she does have somewhat of a fascination with alien kind, but I didn't want that to be a trait. It felt weird considering she has now married and had a family with an alien. I don't want her to like geek out about it. Does that make sense? I don't know. So I just made her self-assured because she does seem like a very confident person. And she is good. She is in the doctor career as well. She just seems like a very good overall sim, and she is family oriented, as mentioned like 5 times already, because I clearly am a broken record. Now I'm going to skip over to Johnny Smith really quick because I'm trying to go in order of age compared to how I made them. But I love Johnny. I always thought that he was so cute in The Sims 2. I had a little crush on Pixel Johnny in The Sims 2. I did. Now, Johnny has blonde hair and green eyes, which he inherited directly from his mother, but as an alien sim hybrid, he actually inherited the green skin of his dad. And even though Jill is an alien human hybrid as well, she did not inherit the green skin. So it was all the luck of the draw. Now, in The Sims 4, I will say this too, I don't know if you have an alien sim hybrid, if they are technically considered the alien occult. I did not make Johnny an alien occult. I just thought that he, with the genetics and everything, inherited green skin, but he is pretty much a human aside from that. So I'm not quite sure. I haven't played around with aliens that much, but you can definitely let me know in the comments down below if that kind of maybe varies even with the genetics as well, because I remember in playing with vampires, you could end up, like if you had a vampire and a human, you could have a vampire child or you could have a human child, and they are both considered, I think, hybrids. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't play with the occults as much as I'd like. Anyway, look at Johnny. He's so cute. So yes, blonde hair, green eyes, green skin. He's a Gemini. We love our Geminis. Yes, we do. And he has the popularity aspiration, which it makes sense for a teen. I'll go over what I gave him in The Sims 4 in just a moment. But he is doing really well in school. We've got a B, so he's doing pretty good. He's above average, which is great. And as a reminder, he is dating Ophelia Nigmos, who is the niece of Olive Spectre. Another one of my favorite Sims. I love Ophelia Nigmos. Love her. Now, for his personality, he is kind of sloppy. He's pretty outgoing and nice, though. But he's kind of a serious sim. He's kind of a serious teen. And I kind of like the dichotomy between his different traits and everything. I don't know. It seemed kind of fun to me. Now, he's very interested in sports, which makes sense. He has a very fit physique, as reflected in The Sims 2, and I think I also reflected here in The Sims 4. He also is very interested in the entertainment, in health, culture, school, and travel, but he hates politics, work, weather, fashion, the paranormal, the environment, and again, sci-fi. Hates sci-fi. I feel like Johnny now as a teen probably gets more bullying, especially from the Grunt family and the Grunt boys. We'll get into that in just a moment. But I feel as though he probably experienced a level of bullying, and yet there's probably a huge level of acceptance as well, because he does seem to be a pretty happy, well-adjusted sim, and he wants to be pretty popular. I feel like he probably already is somewhat popular. He seems like the stereotypical like cool teen. So I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of a dichotomy there. Now, when we look at his relationships, again, this is when things get a little bit interesting. So he is acquaintances with everyone in his family, which I think is really odd, including his half-sisters, Chloe and Lola. So he knows them, but his mother doesn't know them, which is weird to me. But he's also acquaintances with Rip Grunt. Remember Rip Grunt? Rip Grunt is the second eldest son of General Buzz Grunt, and he is the one that is not following in his father's footsteps, is not seeking his father's approval, and doesn't seem to share the animosity against alien kind of that of his father and his older brother, Tank. So that's very interesting, because Rip is also acquaintances with Ophelia. You see how the kids, like, some of them are pretty prejudiced and some of them aren't? I just find it fascinating, and it makes things very interesting to play around with. Now, he is enemies with Tank Grunt, who I just mentioned. So Tank is the one, of course, that is kind of following in his father's footsteps. He shares a lot of the same beliefs. He wants to impress his father, all that stuff. So he shares the same animosity towards the Smith family via Johnny here, as his dad does against Pollination Technician number 9. And in the Sims 4 version, he has the Friend of the World aspiration, which I think was absolutely fitting. But again, I'll explain why I made the change that I did with his aspiration. And he's also good and outgoing and gregarious. I think that actually fits to a T. Now, I gave him the goal-oriented teen aspiration, but you know what I might do? I might change it to admired icon. He wants to be a trendsetter, popular, and influential. I think that fits better and would probably feed into the Friend of the World aspiration if that's a change that you wanted to make maybe as he got older or whatever the case is. And I did make him active because he's very into sports and stuff like that, but I made him loyal too. I did. I wanted to add that trait for him, even though I absolutely agree that he's probably good and outgoing and gregarious and all that stuff. With this aspiration, he has the relatable trait, so he can build friendly relationships with fellow teens faster. I think that that kind of goes with the outgoing, good component of his personality. I wanted him to be active because it seems to be what he is. And I think he's loyal. I like Johnny, and I like my version of Johnny. I like his personality and all that stuff too. Again, everything else is base game in regards to his outfits. Can I just say it was actually really tough to find. It's always difficult to find cold weather outfits that are base game because we basically have nothing. We basically have nothing, and you'll see that actually with Jill, who we are going to be looking at next. Oh, actually, before I do that, Johnny has like no custom content at all. This hair is from For Rent. No, Lovestruck, my bad. It's from Lovestruck. He does have all the skin defaults, but as for like hairs and things that drastically would impact his appearance, he's pretty much all packs, which is great. But Jill's hair is one of my favorite things. I've had it in my game for so long, and it took a while for me to track it down because it's from like 2019, I think, at this point. I had to peruse Tumblr for a little while, so I'll give you the hair details in a second. But this is Jill. She's adorable. I love her. She has blonde hair and green eyes. She is an alien-human hybrid, but she did not inherit the green skin from her father. So she's basically like, not literally, but I think just in the genetic department and hair color, eye color, skin tone, she's basically her mother. She got everything from her mother in that regard. Now she is, a Virgo. There we go. I almost said she was a Gemini like Johnny. She's not. She's a Virgo. And she has a grow up aspiration, which I think almost every kid had in The Sims 2. I can't remember. She's also a very good student. She's an A student in school. Good for you. Good for you, Jill. You did it. Jill is very neat and playful, by the way, which a lot of kids aren't necessarily super neat, but playful makes complete sense to me. Now, she's neither grouchy nor nice, though, and she is pretty shy. She's actually not really outgoing. She's not super social. She's more so on the shy end, and maybe she kind of got that from her dad. I think he was a bit shy. Now, she loves school, which I think is reflected in the fact that she has really good grades, though we have had Sims in The Sims 2 who had amazing grades and really didn't like school, so it doesn't have to, they're not mutually exclusive. But she loves school, toys, the environment, culture, fashion, travel, and animals. She hates sci-fi, like the whole family, politics, work, weather, the paranormal, health, and money. Again, I don't know how much exposure children in The Sims 2 have to some of these things, but I digress. Now, she has acquaintances, again, with everyone in her family, but also includes Lola and Chloe. So her and her brother know they're not half siblings, sorry. They're step siblings and aunts. I have to keep like figuring it out in my brain because it's so twisted. So they both know Chloe and Lola, but their mom doesn't. And that's just so odd to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. I need a reason why. If there is a legitimate reason, put it in the comments, or we're just making one up for The Sims 4 with our own lore. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So she's also acquaintances with Buck Grunt, though, who is the youngest of the Grunt sons. So Jill and Buck are acquaintances. I think on one of the wikis I looked at, it said they were friends. Maybe they're like right on the border of being friends because they're really good acquaintances. I don't know. And Johnny is acquaintances with Rip. So these two kids are acquaintances with two of the children from a family, generally speaking, that hates them and their dad specifically and their kind, like their lineage. I love it. It's one of my favorite feuds in The Sims 2. I absolutely adore it. Now for the Sims 4 version of Jill here, she had the artistic prodigy aspiration and she was neat. I did make a change. I gave her the creative genius aspiration, which is under the multi-skilled aspiration. I believe it came with growing together. So she wants to build her creative and mental skills to inspire innovation and play. I think it fit her, and I just made her creative. You could probably give her almost any other trait based off that personality. Like you could play around with that a little bit. Oh, it was for posing. Maybe I didn't mean to give her that trait. Hold on. Maybe, God, she's cute. Look at her posing like that. I mean, she is creative, but let me see. So she's not grouchy or nice. She's playful. Maybe I'll just make her a goofball. Yeah, I'll make her a goofball. That'll fit for now. Now this hair, this is the primary piece of custom content that I mentioned earlier. It's so cute. It is so cute. So this is the Party Hair version 2 by Pink Patchy, but the user that converted it for children is Milk Yiki. I cannot pronounce some of these names, so please forgive me. But I love it. There's like a little bit of kind of clipping, if you will, in here, but you know what? You're never that close. And for pictures, it never shows up in game, for gameplay and all that stuff. Super, super cute hair. And I want to say Jill probably has the non-default, Pearl Skin Blend by Kumikya as well. I put that on all of my child Sims because the Pufferfish Skin Blend is not for children, is not for that life stage. And she might be a bit, maybe not pack intensive, that's not really the word. Her skirt is from Eco Lifestyle. I think everything else is pretty much base game. And just like everyone else, all her other outfits are primarily base game as well. Something that I did learn, and I'll share this with you all because I was, like my flabber was so gasted when I figured this out. So some items that we do have that are base game now used to be pack exclusive. I'm aware of that component, but I didn't realize that sometimes, I can't even find an example. There was something from Parenthood on one of the other families. The first 3 swatches are tagged as base game, but if you use the other swatches, they still have the pack specific tag, which is an oversight because they are base game items, but it'll flag as using a particular pack, the one that it originally came from. Just an FYI, I learned that. Wanted to share. This is what I meant by the cold weather though. If you look at cold weather base game stuff for kids, we have this. It's quite literally just this sweater because as you can see with this little brown heart, these are custom content items. In full body, we have nothing. This was quite literally the only thing I could put on her. And as for boots, let me just show you. I don't think we really had anything. We have rain boots and sneakers. So sorry, Jill looks like this with base game stuff. If you have other packs, you can alter that all you want. But yeah, this is what she looks like when she has her cold weather stuff on, which is kind of a bummer. And hats didn't really work for this at all. So anyway, that is the Smith family. I love the Smith family. They were one of my, I say this every time, one of my favorite families in The Sims 2, but I loved their ongoing feud with the Grunt family. That was such a fun component to play with if you were in Strangetown. So I hope you'll enjoy this. I think next time what we'll do is we'll look at the Curious Brothers. I feel like that's the next logical extension because we might be able to dive more so into that family tree, kind of unravel the mess that it is. I think that would be kind of fun. So hope you all enjoyed this. You can download this family now. It is in the pinned comment. Within that folder, there are also all of the required pieces of custom content that you can go ahead and toss in your mods folder if you want them to look exactly the way that I made them. But as always, they would pretty much resemble themselves without a lot of the custom content too, which is really nice, especially for our console folks. Anyway, I've blabbed enough. I will talk to you next time I post a video, which will be very soon. Bye.